Are you listening?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nerf Report. My name is Brian Chappelle. We are back with another episode, and thank you so much for being here. It's been a crazy week. G4 TV is coming back, which hashtag the Nerf Report on G4. Let's get that trending. Xbox showed off their lineup of next-gen games, including a first look at gameplay footage of Halo Infinite. BioWare confirmed that they are working on the next Dragon Age game, and Ghost of Tsushima has sold 2.4 million copies in 3 days, which is crazy. But not what I want to talk to you about on this week's episode. Because for this week's episode, I want to talk to you about hypocrisy. Or as Webster's dictionary defines it, the practice of claiming to have moral standards or belief to which one's behavior does not conform. And to be more specific, I want to talk to you about hypocrisy in gaming media. And when I say something like media, I'm not just talking about like influencers, I'm also talking about gaming journalists, which admittedly, I know that this is already sounding like one of those videos that your uncle or your dad watches that's all like, the mainstream media is fake news, and the only opinion you should believe is mine because I'm a millionaire who films his show on a set that's worth more than your house, but don't let that fool you. I am just as normal as a human being as you are. And the reason I don't want you to construe this episode like that is because I love journalism. And I think that there are some people out there doing an excellent job at telling stories surrounding the gaming industry. But there are also people out there who are really bad at it. For example, we now live in an age where the line between being an influencer and a journalist is more blurred than it's ever been. A streamer can speak his opinion on a game and talk about his distaste over a bug in a mechanic, and immediately that becomes a headline stating Streamer X says Fortnite is doomed. When in reality, that isn't news. It's just an opinion. That streamer doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes at the developer. That streamer doesn't understand why that mechanic was put into place, or whether the developer is actually trying to fix said issue. It's the job of the journalist to investigate that opinion and see if there's any truth behind that issue. But because in the world of gaming, journalists are also influencers, opinions are being misconstrued as fact. When a journalist says something like, Stadia is going to go out of business, despite that journalist having provided zero evidence to support that argument, their followers begin to embrace this opinion as a fact because it comes from a journalist, so it must be a fact. And I mentioned Stadia because since the platform launched in 2019, it really has highlighted the hypocrisy in the video game industry, as you have multiple outlets speaking falsely about the service, saying things like, there are no games, the service doesn't work, the world isn't ready for cloud gaming, people still have data caps, or Stadia has way too much lag. Despite the fact that there are hundreds of creators out there, including myself, who not only have shown Stadia working, but have also shown it to have a very promising future. Now, this hypocrisy was on full display this week, as Xbox announced that starting this fall, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate users would be getting xCloud at no additional cost. And you had news outlets and journalists treating this announcement as the ending of Google Stadia. GameSpot's Steve Watts wrote, Xbox Game Pass xCloud integration could be a death blow to Stadia. Tweaktown's Derek Strickland wrote, Microsoft's Project xCloud just destroyed Google Stadia. And somehow these opinion articles are seen as fact. Despite, well, hold on, let me check 1 second. Yep. Google Stadia is still alive. And what frustrates me the most about this hypocrisy is that outlets like this are the same place that for months have said, Stadia can't run, Stadia's too laggy, Stadia has too much latency. But now, the moment that Xbox does the exact same thing, all of those potential issues have just disappeared. Because here's the tough reality about Stadia versus xCloud. They both require a minimum of 10 megabytes per second download speed. So if Stadia didn't work for you, chances are xCloud isn't going to be much better. And I guess what I'm trying to get to is, in my opinion, you can't be a journalist and an influencer at the same time, and be upset when someone calls you out on stating an opinion and painting it as a fact. For example, when I called out Imran Khan, formerly of Game Informer, for his hypocrisy of giving Nintendo a pass over their mediocre Direct, when he doomed Stadia for doing the exact same thing a week ago, I was mocked and told by Imran, yes, Stadia and Nintendo are exactly the same in all ways. Good analysis. When in reality, they are. They are both gaming platforms. They sell video games. They both held digital press events within the last few weeks. How can you as a journalist say that two companies that are in the same industry are not actually the same? Criticizing one platform and refusing to do the same for another is hypocrisy, and it shows that you have a huge bias. So which are you? Are you a journalist or are you an influencer? And I get it. In today's world, clickbait is king. So the more egregious or the more salacious your headline is, the more likely you are going to get people clicking on your article or retweeting something that you said. But where clickbait runs into a major issue is with the attention span of the average human. On Twitter, so many people see a headline, make an immediate judgment, and assume that they understand the entire story, when in reality, they don't. A headline is great for grabbing attention, but it sucks at portraying things like nuance, which every story has. The Xbox Game Pass and Project xCloud partnership is a massive announcement for gamers. And personally, I can't wait to see how many people who never could have afforded an Xbox before get their first opportunity to play a game through xCloud. But it is not the death of Google Stadia. And I don't understand why the tech industry is so obsessed with this narrative. When you go to a grocery store, you have Pepsi and Coke. No one is hanging out in the soda aisle being like, "Do you all see Pepsi's new logo? Psh, Coke is gonna put them out of business." And the reason that doesn't happen is because people understand the world is big enough for two major soda companies to exist at the same time, just as the world of cloud gaming is large enough for two major players to exist at the same time. And I could go on and on about how gaming media is filled with hypocrisy, but probably the most egregious one was when GameIndustry.biz Christopher Dring wrote an excellent article titled "The Console War is Over. Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo all want different things for the next generation. Is it really a war if everyone wins?" And following this article, influencers and journalists alike declared that following the Xbox Series X live stream, the console wars were over, despite the fact that the majority of them were attacking smaller platforms like Stadia just days or weeks before. How is this not hypocrisy? Does Stadia not qualify as a gaming platform? Should the people who enjoy using Stadia suffer from abuse from other gamers? Or, to borrow what Christopher Dring was saying, what does it matter where you play if everyone wins? The console war is stupid. But what's even more stupid are influencers who use the word journalist to hide their hypocrisy. So where I want to leave this is, don't read headlines. Read the entire story. And if you're a journalist, ask yourself, am I an influencer or do I want to be a journalist? Stay safe, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Hey, thanks again for checking out our channel. Are you like the thousands of people in the comment section down below wondering why does this channel have so little subscribers? Well, you can fix that today by subscribing to the channel, liking the video, commenting, and sharing it with your friends, which I know sounds like a lot, but I feel like our channel is worth it.